Hi, I'm Marcos. 3 years of marriage to Elena taught me one thing. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you know the least. I never expected my ordinary life as a software developer to become a case study in betrayal, but that's exactly what happened last spring. You're working late again? Elena's voice carried that familiar edge as I packed my laptop. The Morrison project deadline got moved up. I told you about this last week, remember? She rolled her eyes, twirling her dark hair around her finger. You always have some excuse. It's always one more hour or just this project. When was the last time we actually did something together? We went to your company party on Saturday, I said, trying to keep my voice level, where you spent the entire time talking to Jake about some coding thing. Real quality time, Marcos. Jake, my colleague, had actually been giving me advice about Elena's recent mood swings. That wasn't, whatever, go, I'll just be here, again, like always. She turned away, phone already in hand, thumbs tapping rapidly. These conversations had become our routine. I'd try to explain, she'd dismiss, and we'd retreat to our separate corners. The distance between us had been growing for months, but I kept hoping it was just a phase. The next day at work, Jake stopped by my desk. Dude, you look like death warmed over. Elena and I had another fight. I don't know what's going on with her lately. Jake leaned against my desk, lowering his voice. Listen, I didn't want to say anything at the party, but I saw Elena outside talking pretty intensely with that guy from accounting. Dark hair, fancy watch. Daniel, her boss's nephew, they work together. Yeah, well, they look pretty friendly, and not in a coworker way. I shook my head. No, Elena wouldn't. I'm just saying what I saw, man. Might be nothing. But the seed was planted. That evening, I called my sister Diane while driving home. She's been distant for weeks, I explained. Always on her phone, working late, getting defensive about everything. Classic red flags, Marcos, Diane said bluntly. Have you checked her phone? I'm not going to spy on my wife. It's not spying when it's so obvious something's wrong. Remember when Tony was acting weird before our divorce? Same pattern. Elena's not Tony. People are people. Just keep your eyes open. I didn't want to believe it, but when I got home and found Elena wasn't there, something made me check our shared computer. She'd forgotten to log out of her email. I wasn't looking for anything specific until I saw a message with the subject line, Tonight, from Daniel. Can't wait to see you again. Same place, 8 p.m. Maybe this time you won't have to rush home to him. There were dozens more, going back months. My phone rang, startling me. It was Tomas, my oldest friend. Hey man, just checking if we're still on for basketball tomorrow. Tomas, my voice cracked. I think Elena's cheating on me. Whoa, what? Where are you right now? At home, she's not here. I found emails between her and a coworker. Don't do anything stupid, I'm coming over. And listen, I just found a text she sent him. I can't stand him anymore. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending. Thomas arrived 30 minutes later, bringing with him the level-headedness I desperately needed. Show me everything, he said, settling onto my couch. I pulled up the emails, the texts I'd found when I finally broke down, and checked her phone records online. This has been going on for at least 4 months, I said, scrolling through the evidence. 4 months of lying to my face every day? Thomas studied the screen, his expression grim. What are you thinking of doing? I don't know. Confront her? Leave? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Before you do anything, you need more information. This is serious stuff, divorce territory. You need to protect yourself. Divorce? The word felt foreign in my mouth. Look at these messages, Marcos. I can't wait until we don't have to hide anymore. What do you think that means? My phone buzzed with a text from Elena. Working late again. Don't wait up. She's with him right now, I said, my stomach turning. Tomas put a hand on my shoulder. Call Jake. Didn't you say you saw them together? Jake agreed to meet us at a diner near my office. He arrived looking concerned, sliding into the booth across from us. This is worse than I thought, he said after I filled him in. At the party, I overheard more than I told you. Elena was talking to someone on the phone in the hallway. She said, and I quote, he suspects nothing. We just need to wait for the right time. The right time for what? I asked. Jake shrugged. I don't know, but it didn't sound good. We need to talk to someone who knows Elena better, Tomas suggested. What about her friend Megan? Didn't she seem uncomfortable around you at your anniversary party? Now that you mention it, yeah, she could barely look at me. The next day, I called Megan and asked to meet for coffee. She arrived looking nervous, fidgeting with her bracelets. I know about Daniel, I said without preamble. Her eyes widened. Marcos, I don't blame you for keeping her secret, but I need to know what she's planning. Planning? Megan looked genuinely confused. Jake overheard her talking about the right time. Is she planning to leave me? Take everything? Megan's expression shifted from confusion to anger. That manipulative, she took a deep breath. Elena told me you two were having problems, that you were distant and working too much. She made it sound like you were the one checking out of the marriage. While she's been seeing Daniel for months. Not just seeing him, she's been moving money too. My heart sank. What? She mentioned setting up her own accounts, transferring funds. I assumed it was because you were controlling or something, the way she described you. God, I feel so stupid. Diane joined us, sliding into the booth with fire in her eyes. I found out something else. Your joint account is nearly empty. Did you authorize a transfer of $30,000 last week? What? No! I thought so. She's planning to clean you out, brother. We need to act now. I waited in our living room when Elena finally came home that night, all the evidence laid out on the coffee table. We need to talk, I said calmly as she walked in. She froze, taking in the printed emails, bank statements, and phone records. What is this? You went through my private things? Where were you tonight, Elena? Working, like I told you. With Daniel? Her expression flickered between shock and defiance. You're spying on me now? Answer the question. This is ridiculous. I don't have to. 4 months, Elena. 4 months of lies. I can't stand him anymore. That's what you said about me, right? She paled slightly, but recovered quickly. You're taking things out of context. Daniel and I are just friends. Friends who are planning something, friends who need the right time, friends who transferred $30,000 out of our joint account. That money is for us, for our future, in an account only you can access. She changed tactics, her voice softening. Marcos, I've been unhappy for a while. I didn't know how to tell you. Yes, Daniel and I have gotten close, but it's not what you think. So you're not having an affair? Her silence was answer enough. And you're not planning to leave me after draining our accounts? I made a mistake, okay? I was confused, feeling trapped, but I do love you. We can work through this. Tomas and Diane entered from the kitchen where they'd been listening. That's convenient, Diane said coldly. Now that you're caught. Elena's eyes hardened. This doesn't concern you. This is between me and my husband. It concerns me when you steal from my brother, Diane shot back. I didn't steal anything. That money is as much mine as his. Not when you're planning to use it to run away with your boyfriend, Tomas interjected. Elena turned to me, desperation creeping into her voice. Marcos, please. Everyone makes mistakes. I was going to end it with Daniel, I swear. Give me another chance. Like the chance you gave me before declaring you couldn't stand me anymore? I didn't mean that. I was just venting. While stealing our money and sleeping with another man. I'll transfer the money back. We'll get counseling. Whatever you want. I shook my head. What I want is the truth for once. Fine, she snapped, mask dropping. Yes, I've been seeing Daniel. Yes, I was planning to leave. You've been checked out of this marriage for years, always working, never really present. What did you expect? I expected honesty. I expected my wife not to betray me. She lunged for the evidence on the table. Give me those. As she grabbed for the papers, she knocked over a lamp, which shattered against the floor. In her rage, she shoved me hard. This is all your fault. Officer Reynolds, who had been waiting outside at my request, entered immediately. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to step back. The following weeks passed in a blur of legal meetings and paperwork. With the evidence of financial fraud and the witnessed physical assault, things moved quickly. The temporary restraining order has been approved, my lawyer explained over coffee. And with the financial evidence, we have a strong case for the divorce proceedings. I still can't believe she tried to claim I was abusive, I said, shaking my head. Classic projection. Fortunately, your friend's testimonies and the police report paint a clear picture. Elena had been calling constantly, alternating between tearful apologies and angry accusations. I changed my number and moved in with Thomas temporarily. She came by the office yesterday, Jake told me during lunch. Security had to escort her out. She was screaming about how you ruined her life. Did she mention the $30,000 she tried to take? Funny how that detail slips her mind, Diane remarked. By the way, Daniel's wife found out everything. Apparently, Elena wasn't the only one he was stringing along. A week later, Elena's company placed her on leave pending an investigation into misuse of company resources. She'd been using her work email for the affair and had claimed business expenses for her meetings with Daniel. She wants to meet with you, Thomas said one evening. She called me since she can't reach you directly. What for? She says she's changed, that she realizes what she's lost, the usual. Not interested. But Elena was persistent. She finally cornered me outside the courthouse after a hearing. Marcos, please. Her eyes were red-rimmed. I made a terrible mistake. I miss you so much. Whatever you want, I'll do it. I wanted a wife who respected me enough to be honest. I do respect you. I was just confused. And Daniel, don't blame him. You made your choices. But I love you. Don't 20 years of knowing each other count for something? Officer Reynolds approached. Ma'am, you're violating the restraining order. 5 minutes, please, she begged. Marcos, tell him it's okay. It's not okay, Elena. It hasn't been for a long time. The final divorce hearing arrived 6 months after that night I discovered the emails. Elena arrived looking composed but desperate. The court has reviewed the evidence of financial impropriety, the judge stated. The funds withdrawn will be returned to Mr. Reyes with additional considerations for legal fees. Afterward, Elena approached one last time, Megan reluctantly by her side. I've lost everything, Elena said quietly. My job, my reputation. Daniel's gone. I have nothing. You still have your freedom, I replied, which is more than you were planning to leave me with. Can you ever forgive me? No. What am I supposed to do now? I looked at her for the last time. That's not my problem anymore. Later, Tomas, Jake, and Diane gathered at my new apartment for dinner. To fresh starts, Thomas raised his glass. Do you regret any of it? Jake asked. The way things went down? I considered the question. I regret believing in someone who never believed in me, but I don't regret standing up for myself. What now? Diane asked. Dating again? Eventually. First, I need to remember who I am without all the lies. For what it's worth, Tomas said, I think you handled it perfectly. You didn't lower yourself to her level. You just exposed the truth. Sometimes, I said, the truth is the best revenge. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have confronted Elena differently? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of justice served.